If you want to go on a long distance longboard trip, it is a crucial step that you think about what kind of gear you want to take. Because if you take in a backpack, you can only fit so much stuff in it. In this video, I want to share with you the most essential things that you would most likely take on your long distance longboard trip. And if you're a filmmaker like me that takes a drone, a camera, a microphone and all other sorts of camera gear, well then you're How's it going, everybody? You're watching Adventure Films. My name is Torben, and to give you an overall idea of how you should pack, you should always choose the least amount of whatever you think of and the lightest thing. So just keep all your stuff to a minimum. It will help you when you're on your trip and your backpack weighs less than 20 kilograms. But starting off with the first thing that should be right at the top of your list is gonna be a helmet. You wanna be safe out there and don't just freak around, just freaking take a helmet. Just do it. Second of all is gonna be your longboard. So you might wanna think about going electric or going just regular and push. I've got a whole video about that. You can check that out here on the description. Third up are the shoes that you're going to take. The shoes are just as important as your longboard or helmet because they are the foundation of you going for a longer distance. Because if you have crappy shoes or just normal skate shoes, you won't go very far. Me personally, I went with cross-country running shoes because they had a nice profile down the bottom, and I could even had a little bit of grip when there was water on the roads and all that kind of stuff, so that was nice to have. Think about that you're going to basically do like a running movement for the day. Another good tip that you should do before your trip is make sure that you feel comfortable in your shoes. And if you just bought them, run with them, whatever, but just make sure that you feel comfortable and you don't get blisters right on your first day. Coming up to what kind of clothes you want to take on your trip. This depends, of course, on your personal level of comfort and on the length of your trip, but also on where you're going to, what kind of country, how warm is it going to be there, how windy, how rainy, and you should check that out in advance to make sure that you got the right clothes for the trip. So I'm just going to give you a rough outline of what I think are the most essential things for your clothes and what is probably the minimum you should take. First of all, you should probably invest in some good quality of hiking socks or just any pair of socks that supports your foot in your shoe. And you should probably think about just getting at least a couple of pairs, if not 3 pairs, and just constantly washing them along the way. Or if you're going for a longer distance and a longer period of time, you should think about just checking your socks out if they smell too bad and just buying new ones along the way. So 3 pairs of socks should do you for the normal trip. Undies. Probably 3 pairs of undies should do you if you have the chance of washing. And I would recommend washing because everything you're gonna wear is gonna smell after a day. You should probably think about taking about 3 shirts with you and just constantly swapping them around, washing them, and do the same as the undies. But they are a lot harder to dry depending where you are, of course. I think I only had 2 running shorts, but maybe just 2 to 3 running shorts will do you, because if they're lightweight, take 3. If they're a bit heavier, just take 2, because you'll be putting them on just during the day. When you get somewhere, just have a shower and put your night clothes on. Rain gear. For the rain gear, you should probably have a rain cover for your backpack. If it's not waterproof, have a rain jacket that is lightweight because you might not need it as much depending on where you are. And the cheapest rain pants that you can find, because you won't need it much either. And think about something to cover up your shoes, because yeah, that's what I didn't have. And even though you got a jacket on and some pants, your shoes were like soaked in 10 minutes because the back wheel flicks up all the dirt and the water and it just runs down your leg right in your shoe. Not much fun. For your night clothes, you should think about having a warm jumper that you can use during the day too if it's cold, but mostly I went with shirts and shorts during the day. That was enough. For your night clothes, I had a nice pair of trackies, fresh socks, and a jumper. That was it for the clothes, and now we're gonna move on to more gear. Another thing you should take on your trip is a towel, because after a nice shower you wanna dry yourself off before going to bed. And there's lots of outdoor towels out there. They're lightweight, they're not as big, but you won't need a very big one, and they dry really quick. It's not the most comfortable thing ever to dry yourself off with, but it will do the job. In addition to your towel, you will need some toiletries, just toothbrush, toothpaste. I had some soap for washing and for showering, but yeah, just get some outdoor soap if you're going camping and watch out of Mother Nature. Another thing you might want to take is a small torch, because if it's dark outside and if you're out in the woods, you might want to light up the scene to see a little bit more, or build up your tent, whatever you want to do. I didn't have one personally. I had my phone that I could always switch a torch on, and I kept that charged because I used my phone as a map as well. You should think about bringing a knife on your trip, because a knife is a great tool to have. You can do anything with it, cut your vegetables, cut your packages, whatever. Just don't clean your wounds with it, because otherwise you might risk to get an infection. Speaking of infection, you want to take a first aid kit, because in case you fall, you will have to clean up your wounds and do it the proper way, not how I did it. Wallet. You want to have a wallet with you on your trip, because having an ID, your passport if you're in a different country, insurance and all that kind of stuff, just some emergency money with you is always a great thing to have. If you're going to go camping and not staying in hotels, you will have to think about bringing a tent, and you should probably go for the smallest tent possible. If it's just you by yourself, just buy a cheap tent for one person, which is lightweight. I actually bought mine for about 150 bucks, I think. If you want to sleep in the tent, you will need a mattress. Probably want to keep it to a small one, and blowout mattress is nice because it gives you that extra little bit of comfort, not just have a little bit of foam under you. In addition to your mattress, you want to take a sleeping bag. Me personally, I went with this small, cheap, lightweight sleeping bag from Amazon. I think it was about 20 to 30 bucks. And yeah, that's all you need for sleeping in your tent. I didn't take a pillow. I just used my clothes. Wasn't the greatest always, but did the job. Another important thing if you're going with a longboard, skateboard or whatsoever is of course a skate tool. You want to have the appropriate tools if your longboard is too stiff or too loose. So have a skate tool with you, always nice. Cooking accessories. Well, if you're going to cook yourself, you should think about taking a gas cooker. I actually only went with one pot and a spoon, a fork and a knife of course, and I actually cooked on fire when I was out in the wilderness, and cooked on a gas stove when I was at a camping place, because most of them had a small kitchen there. Yeah, so I only had one pot. If you want to document your trip, you might want to consider taking a textbook or just writing it all in your phone. Otherwise, you could think about having a GoPro, which I used a lot. I only had 2 batteries. I charged it along the way, and yeah, I always had it on my head, so it's kind of stable when it's on your helmet. So I got some cool shots with that. But even better would be, at least how I think about it now, taking a small point and shoot, because you got a little more variety with your point and shoot, and just put it in your pocket. Otherwise, you could use your phone, of course. That's what I did. I only had the GoPro and the phone occasionally if the GoPro was flat. For some optional gear, you could think about getting some spare bearings if you would like to have them as an emergency when your bearings are wrecked or not functioning as good anymore. I had some spare bearings with me just for the rainy days, but that didn't really work out because I couldn't be bothered changing them anyway. And sunscreen is another thing you might want to think about taking with you. Solar panel. You might want to think about bringing a solar panel on your trip, depending on what kind of mission you are after. If you're more in the wilderness or out in the nature where there's not a lot of towns, or you're not going to a lot of camping places, then a solar panel might be the right thing for you. A nice thing to have, but it just depends on what kind of travel you are after. And the last thing is the battery pack. I mentioned it before. Might want to think about that. I had a 20,000 milliamp hour battery pack with me, and I had it fully charged, and I thought I might just take it. I took it last minute, and it was probably the best thing, because having those, I don't know how many chargers that is, maybe 5 chargers for your phone. And what's really nice about it is if you go to a camping place every few days, then you can charge it overnight. But apart from that, that's pretty much the whole list. If you can think about something else, let me know in the comments below. And otherwise, check out my other videos. If you're into long distance longboarding, this is, as I said, only one video of a whole series about long distance longboarding. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. And otherwise, I will see you very soon.